drop the forks and we'll start afresh and find ourselves again. You ask me why I did it, and I don't know why. We lasted from the start. Hugs on the tracks that split this town apart.
Welcome to Friedfest, the documentary. I'm BW, and I'm going to be your narrator for today. I was lucky enough to know Tyler Bennett, who you're going to hear a whole lot about here in the next hour or so, for most of his life. Consider him a brother, uncle to my kids. Tyler, this is for you.
What the logistics behind it would be, but it'd be cool if like you get a film crew in there and like document the whole festival one time.
Yeah, I actually have a friend this year that's we're supposed to do like a promo type video, shoot a bunch of stuff and edit it all together.
Yeah, he could probably do a video.
Once a year, a house in Converse, Indiana, surrounded by nothing but corn and bean fields, holds one of the best kept secrets in music. And it has for 10 years. Welcome to Friedfest.
I'm really isolated out in the middle of nowhere. Like, it's about 7 minutes out of town to the closest town is down the road. So we're out in the middle of nowhere in a cornfield pretty much. Most of the bands just camp or like some that are on tour that have to travel back. They'll just leave that night whenever they decide to leave. But most people stay as long as they possibly can and into the morning. So yeah. It's definitely like police yourselves, like everybody look out for each other type of thing.
Right.
Like nobody's out there trying to cause a problem most of the time. So
that's good.
You always got a great group of people out there, people that always come. Mm-hmm. So they'll show up and just kind of, monkey see, monkey do.
Right.
Lines, which doesn't always work because there's always one person that's got to park like an idiot.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's always that. But I mean, we just kind of like section it off. Like you'll have when you turn in the driveway, if you're camping, just take your vehicle to like where the camping site is. Mm-hmm. So that keeps that separate from people just showing up and leaving. So you have kind of like a stationary group and like a group that's kind of leaving and going.
Nice.
My mom, she helps out. She takes money. So
nice.
And there's a group of people that helps out all year.
That's
like
awesome.
We have people that take care of drinks and everything. Like they'll sell water or hand out water for bands or whatnot and take money and check for bands and everything. Good group of people behind me really helps a lot.
Oh, for sure.
So shout out all the 765 crew.
Part of my narrator duties is to let you know when important things are about to happen and when important people are about to be here. This is Chris Isaacs. Without Chris Isaacs, there would be no 2025 Friedfest. But before we get to 2025, let's get back to where it starts.
Well, we kind of got to start where it started in the first place, which is, Bennett was kind of like throwing shows throughout his life every now and then, and it was kind of his thing. Well, we had all kind of grown up, you know what I'm saying? And we really wanted to make something for everybody because we had seen our local area kind of die down.
So after that, we did the Benefit Festival, which was for Britley Wood way back when, and that was Rumble. It was supposed to be at the fairgrounds, ended up putting it at Borderman Gym. We had the Borderman Gym round, and that was with Hype Rider and all those other guys. We had Anthony Francis play and a couple other bands, I think.
I put on a benefit show for a person that was in a car wreck to raise money for to help out. Mm-hmm. And it was supposed to be at the fairgrounds in Converse, and it biblically poured for 2 days before. So the day of, I was literally scrambling and got that gym and had my very first show there.
This is Connor Mitchner. He plays bass, and I set my friends on fire. He's kind of important in the story, too. Seems like a random get. Just watch.
This is my first physical encounter with Bennett. Egyptian Room for the Used, We Came as Romans, Crown the Empire. Pretty Handsome Awkward came on from the Used. They did a Wall of Death. And across the way, I see Bennett, and he was wearing a highlighter yellow cutoff and with the lights flashing, it like illuminated, and who was I directly across from was Bennett. And that was my first ever wall of death. And that is the first time I've ever gotten trucked over. And that is the first time I ever had someone have to pick me up and save me because he clobbered me. Holy shit. And the thing is, too, I don't know if he knew it was me, but I knew who he was. And I was just like, holy shit. And then ever since, and then because that was in I want to say that was 2013. So a year or two after is when I asked him to play the show at Borderman. And so that was me playing the show at the Borderman was my first like real talking to Bennett. After that, well, that's when the first time I ever saw like Hype Rider. I think Shell Shock played. I think Hellraiser played. Ursa Minor definitely played, and it was
Ursa Minor was one of my like first like bands that got me back into DIY. Those were my homies.
yeah, Forbidden Ending. I remember like all these bands that we ended up playing with later on. Like there's just like it's so crazy. Like with those shows, you just remember everybody you play with.
That concert was 10 years ago. Can you believe that? Tyler hosted a lot of house shows, and from there came the first festival, Bennett Fest. Now, some people would tell you that this was the first Friedfest. Those people are wrong. Or maybe they're just misinformed.
Your faces, guys. We're a band called Hype Rider. Thank you, guys. You guys have had good energy so far. Let's crank that rowdy knob just a little bit. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Bennett Fest was proof of concept. House music festivals work. Not only do they work, but they bring together some of your best friends to have an epic night of music. And from there, Friedfest was born.
Our tour flyer for that, when we re-upped it, we put Bennett Fest on it. It says Bennett Fest on our tour flyer. Yeah, and because it was before it was like Friedfest.
But I have a full PA and everything that I got for $300.
I had $150. Bennett had $150. Somebody hit us up and told us that we could get a PA for $300. And when we did that, it definitely gave us the fuel for the motivation that we needed to like kind of set at the first one.
It originally started as a way for me to draw enough people to pay I Set My Friends on Fire to play in my garage.
I love this. The origin of the festival is that you wanted I Set My Friends on Fire to play there.
Yes, I talked to Connor, and they really wanted to play. He wanted to play a home show with iSet when he got into iSet, because they also had a touring band that was called Lights Out Paris that also played like one of my first shows that I did coming back.
In that podcast when he mentions Lights Out Paris, that was the one at Borderman. That was the show at Borderman that we played. Because if I didn't ask him to play that first show at at Borderman, like Tyler, like Adam's like best friend for life now. Like I met him that night. Next day we brought him over the weekend to merch for us because we met him at Bennett's house afterwards. And now literally my best friend.
So like, yeah, I never met him. And then, yeah, the Rural Rumble happened and we got to talking and I was like, bro, we were neighbors and we like never talked. And, you know, like we probably missed out on a bunch of cool shit, but I was like, I'm here now. And then like after the Rural Rumble, that day or that night, whenever they left, I went and did merch for them for like 2 or 3 days. And that was how we became buddies. And it was dope. And it was just like, all right, cool. Thanks, Bennett.
Told you Connor was important.
But then we it just kind of turned into a way to showcase like all the local bands I run into and regional bands.
I would rather be eating shit like and being able to play whatever we wanted, like playing the house every year. I would if I had it my way, we would be playing there every year.
We're going to come back to Connor here in a little bit with the most epic set ever played, or so I'm told. 2016, I Set My Friends on Fire.
You got some headliners, right? I mean, do you have anybody that headlines, or is it just kind of like...
We have just like, I had blocks of like bands that I'll put in like your main bracket at a time. Like really just started like you get like your local bands all like you get your core set up and then they'll like tell you like, oh, this band will be good to fit with us. And then they just bring bands. So it kind of just fire line.
King's Gambit. Cool dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool dudes.
I'm not complaining though. It's called Friedfest, not shade and reasonable temperature. It's called Grieving.
Tyler Bennett had a lot of best friends, but Cody Justice might have been the best of the best friends. We should listen to what he says.
And, you know, even in Messenger, however he was reaching out to these bands and like talking to them, you know, they must have just saw something and dude, you know, and then talking to him on the phone. And then obviously when you get here and meet him, I mean, that's why these dudes have been coming back here for fucking 10 years, dude. I mean,
the coolest thing always about going to a Bennett show, like specifically a show that he put on, especially because he would let any band that wanted to play, like they would have a stage. But no matter what show he put on, somebody would always leave there with like a new favorite band.
Every year you leave Friedfest with a new favorite band. It's like clockwork. In 2025, leaving, Forges were my new favorite band. Little did I know, I had the chance for them to be my favorite band 9 years ago.
3, 2, 1. Here we go. Cheers. We're Forges. We're from Baltimore. On our first tour in 2016, we needed a place to play. And they said, hey, come play Friedfest.
That was our first tour.
Yeah, it was our first tour.
First tour. And it kind of like was like a center point of like, we knew that we were going to play this show. So like we booked a lot of shows around this. And so we like kind of like, you know, made, you know, a lot of friends around the Midwest area around this way.
Yeah, one of the coolest things about that, I think we played Friedfest 2 in 2016, and one of the things that, like, I'll never forget this, I still have Snapchats from this, but we pulled up and we didn't really know anybody and we were feeling super weird. We're socially anxious people, right? And the band Plans pulled up and they were like, hey, you have a van, we have a van, let's dock our vans together. And so they pulled up next to our van and you could open their side doors and our side doors. We put a blanket over it, and so you could go in the back of their van through their side doors into our van and then out the back of our van. It was like a weird little Z shape. But we made like immediate friends here at Fried.
So Plans picked me and my drummer up from my mom's house to go to Friedfest, to be there. And then everyone else like got in. But me and my drummer were at my mom's house because he had drove from West Virginia, but Plans picked us up from my mom's house in Marion to be at Friedfest, like right when they needed to be there. Yeah, that's how I met those guys. Was they picked me up.
Let's do something a little different for Plans, who was back in 2025 for the most part under a new name of Post Gospel. Let's just take in a little bit of a music video from Plans in 2017. It kind of fits the vibe. You're starting to get kind of the feel here, right? Everybody loves everybody. It's a really good time. There's no way there could be any, I don't know, drama in the first year, right?
I actually had to deal with the radius clause at the Emerson the first year of Friedfest.
Really?
I Set My Friends on Fire. Because the Emerson dropped their show because they wanted to play Friedfest. They were supposed to have a show the night before at the Emerson. The Emerson's like, well, you can either play here or you can play there, because they were worried about us like taking their draw. So we had to take I Set off the flyer the first year. Put like Cavalry Kids on there instead. You know,
okay.
The Crank That, so they did that Crank That Soldier Boy and came out with Cavalry Kids.
Hey, it's your Calvary Kids, and we got a new song for y'all called The Soldier Boy. By the way, I got me some new bathing.
Yeah, Emerson caught wind of it, got super pissed, ended up dropping the show, and I think I remember that night, like of Friday, we did like a fuck you Emerson during our set, and it was, yeah, nah, fuck the Emerson.
I don't know if the Emerson is still open in Indianapolis. If so, go there, visit. I don't know. Don't sue me. Sorry, boys.
Well, I mean, that was my first tour with the Zimphoff, so that's what was crazy too. And yeah, that's why I wanted to do a hometown show. It made sense because it was right there. I literally lived in Converse at the time, and I was like, yeah, we're doing this regardless. So
I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm getting really, really pumped for the 2016 I Set My Friends on Fire video. It's going to be great.
I played in that garage. That, I think, was the biggest show of that tour, was at Friedfest, like by far. And to this day, it is the only show I had ever cried on stage. We were playing Things Around with Orange, and I hit the last note of it. And I remember just like I turned around and I just like kind of covered my eyes, playing off like sweat. But no, because I see like people I like became friends with, like, and like, again, like this is the family, dude. And it's like being able to like do cool shit and then bring it back home and see that is also like, that was just so cool.
Next up is Sheldon. He was a merch guy. He was probably working the table that you all saw for Forbidden Ending that night. He watched I Set My Friends on Fire in the garage. Let's see what he has to say.
As soon as they started, and like I just saw him at the front, and he looked like a giant, like lion man for real. Like his crazy giant hair and like the scream that he did, I was just like, we are about to be in this shit. Holy shit.
All right, it's time I come clean. There is exactly 0 known videos of 2016 I Set My Friends on Fire. They did play the garage. That much I know was true. I heard the stories over and over and over in the interviews. But when it came time to share pictures and videos, this is everything that is known to exist on the internet after hundreds of hours of research. To be fair, I wasn't there. It isn't my fault. But maybe that is my fault. Maybe I should have been there. Maybe you should have been there. If you were there and you didn't take a video, shame on you. But also, congratulations on witnessing what I hear was the best set in Fried history.
Yeah, nothing. Not a single one. Wow. Well, I'm not surprised because those years were the Fried years. What I would consider the Fried years. The Fried years are what I would consider the peak of people getting fried. So I don't know if you remember the band Gape I was in. Our guitar player got so fried, he didn't play a note the entire set. He just literally ran his guitar on the edge of his guitar amp. The Fried years.
I was slacking there. Caleb snuck in. We'll see more of him in a minute. Don't worry. I promise he'll be back.
From the first time Fried came, I mean, we didn't know it was going to be as monumental as it is now. I mean, people know about Friedfest in Canada, and we're in a little cornfield in bumfuck Indiana, you know? I mean, it's just crazy, the reach that it has now.
Okay, so for instance, if you just want to know the reach of like the whole Friedfest, so I have a buddy, he lives in New York. I think he lives in like Bushwick or something. Well, anyways, he was telling me, he's like, yeah, bro. He's like, I was in this coffee shop and he's like, the barista working there, and this is in New York. He's like, the barista working there just like sparked up a conversation with me. And like, we got to talking and she asked me where I was from. And she had said she was from Chicago. And he's like, oh yeah, I lived in this really small town in Indiana. You probably never heard of it. It's called Converse. And the girl was like, no, she's like, I've been there. She's like, I've been there and I played a show in this guy's garage. And he's like, was it like a big, like kind of festival? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, what was the band name? And she told him, and he called me and he's like, bro, have you ever heard of this band called Dead Split Egos? He's like, have you ever? I was like, I'm pretty sure they played like the first Friedfest or whatever. And then I was just thinking like, that's crazy. Like, this dude ran into a girl living, working in New York, and she had played a show in Bennett's garage. And it's like,
as much as you do get familiar with everybody over the years, there's something that spot, being beside him, soundstage, we love you front row, that's what makes it.
It was a long night. I think we ended about, the last band started, which was We Love You, started at like 3:30 in the morning.
I always get so nervous to play for you guys. I don't know why. We love you from Marion, Indiana.
This is Caleb Lewis, frontman for We Love You. We Love You has been a cornerstone in Friedfest since the very beginning. You're going to see and hear a lot from them and Caleb throughout. Enjoy.
Caleb Lewis from the band We Love You. We have played, I believe, every Friedfest that has happened, except for 2020. There was some weird stuff there. But Friedfest is something else, man. It's always been a very special day for our band. The set list had to be perfect. We had to play perfect. Just everything had to be the right way, because to me, it was the most important show of the year. Everyone that I would consider our biggest fans were going to be there. So I always wanted to give them a fucking show, man. And I think we did.
This is 32 RPM.
Probably one of my favorite sets. I think you have some video of it, of me playing A Whisker Away at the end of the set with Travis with his shirt off with Bennett. That was just a fun set, because I think we might have opened with As Long As I Die by Your Side, which doesn't happen. So that was funny. I was just like, let's just fucking get it out of the way.
Through you, green eyes plastered to backs of mine. For some reason, he doesn't seem to like you. I sleep on my lap until he goes downstairs. See whatever the hell he wants to.
Not sure if you caught that, but Tyler said, "I love you." And he did. He loved everybody that was there. Every person, every band, even the people driving by honking their horns. He loved everybody. And the reach that Friedfest developed from that love is still unmatched today.
I've been all over this country the past 10 years, and I have never once felt the safety, the love, the creativity, the camaraderie that I felt that night. And then, obviously, like, being here when we were working on the first Friedfest and getting that started, then 2 years later, we had 2 days, 22 bands and 2 stages. You know what I mean? To be a part of something so beautiful and pure and true is, you know what I mean? You don't get that a whole lot in your life. And I feel like a lot of people they don't have that opportunity. And Tyler really created something that, the dude didn't know a stranger. And then that bled into all of us here at the house. Anytime we're here for a show, for a cookout, whatever it is, it's pure, it's love, you know what I mean? Everybody's welcome, come grab a plate, everybody eats, everybody has a drink, you know what I mean? It's not something that can be copy and pasted. This is a one-of-a-kind community and a one-of-a-kind place, and that's what keeps me coming back.
So you have your core Fried family, and then they come next year, and they come next year, and now we're 10 years in, and there's still a lot of those dudes are back behind me right now.
And, we came back in 2017 and 2018 and 2019, and then we're here 6 years later finally.
Old heads, and we showed up with nothing, just beer, and got absolutely plastered by the sun and beer, and people fed us hot dogs, and Friedfest took care of us, which was super fucking cool.
successful fest from 2016 through his last in 2020, Tyler managed to find the love of his life.
I always went to every event with him. He always like supported me in everything I did. He hung out with me and my friends all the time. And it was, me and 2 other 21-year-old girls, like who wants to hang out with us? But he did it willingly and he acted like he had a good time. So that's a big deal.
It won't happen like you think it will. Happen in the blink of an eye. Catch you by surprise. It won't happen like you think. It won't happen like you think it will. Happen in the blink of an eye. Catch you by surprise. It won't happen like you think.
December 3rd, 2020, I got the call that Tyler Bennett passed away from pulmonary embolism. Now, I'll admit, Friedfest was not on my mind in that moment. But before the day was over, it was. Much like everyone else, I didn't know what was next, what was going on, but I didn't want to see his legacy die. And it didn't.
It's just a lasting impact that I don't, everybody's important in life, but like that dude made you understand why you were important. That was what he wanted to bring out of you.
Passed, and everything just felt like
He let it go, and he was still.
a lot of us just lost our best friend, and none of us even knew what the fuck to do for like 6 months.
Bennett was so good at like making people feel like they were singularly just like the most important person in the world.
He was like my best friend, so we had a good time. We hung out all the time. I think ever since we started dating and until he passed, we were like always together all the time. And he always took me to his friends, and they were always, you guys opened up and were so accepting of me from the beginning.
As I was nearing the last 2 miles of my drive out here today, I felt it. It just kind of came back immediately. I used to be out here all the time, regardless of shows or not, just fucking around with Bennett. And being here today, sometimes I could almost have sworn like I could even see him, not like actually see him, but like he should have been there in certain situations, specifically during We Love You. I feel like he should have been in the corner where he always was with his 2 fists up.
I mean, there's a video of our Seek and You Shall Find live stream, and you can see Bennett in the window in the same spot he always is, right fucking behind me, just watching us through the window. And I think there's a part where he's got Forges on the phone, like with Nate on the phone during that live stream. But
Donnie and I had the opportunity to bring Bennett out to another gig. We were on tour with a band that Bennett really liked, and I think this was like 2019, and it was a Counterparts tour, and Bennett was so stoked, and like we have a picture, it's me and Bennett and Donnie, and he's real stoked, like the biggest smile on his face, and he passed away like very shortly after that. And then like, We Love You is a very important band to us, especially to me personally. And when Bennett did pass, like We Love You dedicated As Long As I Die by Your Side, they re-recorded it for Bennett. And it like put me in a dark space for like a couple weeks. Like I was like really hurt that this like jovial entity from the Midwest that I only get to see like once or twice a year had like passed away, and it felt like the community shrank a little bit, at least for me, you know, like I was really bummed out, and like definitely went through my own sense of grieving when that happened. And like we weren't the closest, you know, I only saw him like maybe a dozen times in my life, but he was just somebody that he would have give you the shirt off his back. Like he was always just super stoked to have everybody around.
And I love thinking about him and stuff. I really do. And I'll talk about him all day. But I just, you know, to me in my head, like I know he's gone, but I still think that like he's still like just visiting you guys or something. So for me to like talk about it, sometimes it's pretty hard and I don't really think about it that much, but
it's almost like when he left, everybody knew what to do already. And I think that was the most wild part. Everybody knew what to do already. They knew what to say to each other. They knew how to keep in contact with each other. They knew how to keep the idea alive. They knew how to do all these things without anybody instructing them. And I think that within itself is a very large stamp when it comes to the memory of what he created.
Yeah, I wouldn't miss this for the world. And ever since he hasn't been here, I started trying to take over like running the like admissions so that Kim isn't so overwhelmed, because she does all of this and she's so amazing for that.
I could make a whole documentary just about Kim and Paul Bennett and what they've done and what they mean to Friedfest. Without these two, there never would have been a Friedfest, because Tyler Bennett never would have had the chance to be Tyler Bennett. Everyone that has ever had a good time at Friedfest should say thank you to Paul and Kim.
What a fucking nightmare. All that personality out there and all, like anything could happen. I mean, I mean, we're all a little older now, and I think we're all a little more tame. But there were some years. If I were Kim, if I was the fucking Bennett family, no fucking way, man. Shut it down. Get the fuck out of my yard. That's how I feel about it. I just, Bennett is the family that man has, like, just insane. He started his own music scene in the fucking field. And Kim and the Bennett family, like, it's just, it's shocking that we've done it as many years as we have, and truly nothing that bad has happened.
Remember that Reach thing we were talking about earlier? It didn't go away December 3rd of 2020. It's alive and well.
It's just so crazy, because like a thing that helps with it too is that there is, because of the reach and because of like what it does mean to people, it's like when you go to a show at that house, you know it's going to be sick. Like no matter who's playing, like you just show up and you're just like, all right, let's see what's up, and then you leave, you're like, fuck yeah.
Still to this day, when a new band comes out and they know what Fried is, a lot of times this is the place that they want to come to play their first show, because they know it's going to pop off and they know people are going to have a good time.
But we watched things, like we've discovered things like Ripped Open out the gate from day one. That was day one for all of those sets that we got to see, and it builds real community. It's brought people together. It's continual. It won't stop. If you shut it off, people are going to ask why. People are going to be like, why did this exist and you took it away from us? Because it doesn't exist. I don't think this exists anywhere else.
The worst, I think, are the metal bands that use like the metal font. Like
You can't read it at all. Just like,
and people are like, you gotta squint. You're like, what?
Like, who's playing? You look at the flyer and you're like, oh, so who's playing?
Some sticks.
Yeah. What do you mean squint?
A bunch of piles of sticks are playing.
That shit drives me nuts when I see that. I'm like, how?
They're so good though.
But I do always still to this day, like when we're writing new music, or I always got Bennett in my head. Same with Gallows Bird. Me and DJ have talked about it. Like what would the man have thought about that shit, you know?
It's every band that's ever played the garage. Bennett loved you. Bennett's proud of you. And for everybody that's ever visited the garage, you know something that was very important. The man said a lot. Don't be a dick.
Most of the time they get a surface value of this phrase that he said, but it was deeper than that. If you knew, you knew. A lot of times he was telling you not to be a dick to yourself. I think the biggest thing for me that I saw him do the most was take bands that may have necessarily not have enough confidence to play a show. If you think he wasn't there, homie to homie, telling them that they need to fucking play. Stop being a dick about it to yourself, man. Play the show. Because if you don't play it, no one's ever gonna know what you're trying to do.
All of this today is for Tyler Bennett.
Fuck yeah!
So don't forget why you're here. Be respectful and be kind to the people that you're around. The one rule.
Don't be a fucking jerk! This next song.
This song is about Minecraft. Fucking sweaty, bro. I'm saying.
At its core in 2016, Friedfest was a local show mixed in with some national acts of all genres. You had some of the softest bands, you had some of the heaviest bands. 2025, that continues on.
I think the crowd at Fried is changing a little bit. You're seeing more of the metal stuff happening, and a lot of the older crowd doesn't. I mean, everyone's getting old. They don't come to Fried Fest anymore. You know, the people that might have known us from 10 years ago probably aren't still coming to the fest. And I mean, it does feel a little different now. Like, you come off stage and it's you and all the boys, you know, telling us how much fun that was. But there were some years, man, that I swear to God something magical was happening. And I can't describe it to you, but some fucking magical shit happens in that garage. And it's amazing.
All I have to really say is that I'm really thankful that I got to experience him while he was around, but I'm even more thankful that I got to see today, because it was a 50-50 collection of people that had never met Bennett before, but had built memories at Fried. And then a bunch of people that knew Bennett. And, you know, they may not necessarily come to shows all the time anymore because a lot of us have aged for the older crowd that comes out here, you know. But the ones that do come out, a lot of times this is their one time a year moment where they come out and they let loose. They think about nothing else but having a good time and experiencing local bands and music like they used to when they were in high school, middle school, or wherever.
It's like you're not always gonna like what you're doing and who you are and the decisions you made, but you know, you can't just sit there and stand on that, you know, that pity party kind of shit forever. Like you gotta accept your failures and push forward and try to grow into something different. Otherwise, you're just gonna stagnate, and then you're just gonna be sad, and you're gonna make other people sad, and it's just not a good way to live.
So earlier I told you that 2025 Friedfest wouldn't have happened without Chris. The truth is, Chris wasn't the promoter for the last few years, but he is now, and he is moving forward. Chris, we're glad to have you.
When I took it over and really wanted to like put it together, the number one thought process that I had in mind was to make sure that everything was up to the Bennett code, not up to my code, not up to the scene's code, but up to his code. And I think we definitely pulled that off this year. You know, we rocked it in the corner instead of on this back wall. That was a Bennett thing. We kept the Christmas lights on. That was a Bennett thing. You know, we did a lot of things this year and kept it really original. And I think it was really important for me to kind of solidify the fact that, you know, this isn't going anywhere. For as long as I can possibly do it, this is going to be here. For as long as, you know, the family lets us do this at their house and continue his memory, this is going to be here.
Bennett was the source and the foundation of all of that. And it's a big reason why I'm still here today. It's why all of these people are still here today, is because of that. It's so crazy about it. Like a DIY in the middle of the cornfield, Converse, Indiana. He made that happen. And I'm eternally grateful for that and forever thankful that I get to come back every single year.
I watched this whole entire yard fill up with people that only know what Friedfest is because of his memory. That is what the 10 years meant to me.
Chris and Nick both did. I want to shout out Nick too, because he obviously had a hand in it. And I was happy that Chris let me kind of book a couple of things too. That was nice. Yeah, he did fucking amazing. Good job, Chris.
And probably the most fitting and kind of twisted Friedfest ending. I don't have Hammer video from 2025. I was there. I recorded it on 2 devices. But I was so busy taking it all in that I forgot to check and see if any of them were recording and what it looked and sounded like. Let that be the takeaway. It's not about all of the moments that we have captured and pretty, but it's about the moments with our friends. It's about the moments that we might not get back. We may not get these every year. But for now, Friedfest forever.
Thank you so fucking much for coming and celebrating the memory of my fucking friend. We all miss him so much, and everybody that stayed and hung out and supported bands, that shit means the world to me, so thank you very much. We're Hammer. Good night.
It's 10 years of Fried in the books. Thank you, boy, for everything you did. From a little concert at a gym because of rain, to the house shows, to Bennett, to 10 years of Friedfest. There you have it. Now, I might be done with this documentary, but Friedfest is not done. In fact, there's bigger and better in the works every single year. I can't wait to be there with the camera, catch it all next year, share it with you again. But for now, that's all I got.
That was fun. Just all kinds of characters out there. You gotta experience. You gotta come out and experience it. Really. It's like I got a joint in the car. I can just smoke that and listen to the music on the way back. Fuck it, let's get out of here.
The water is rising all around me, and there is nothing left I can give. All these tears I've shed, I saw the wildfire spread. You said you cheated death, but heaven was in my head.
Okay, there we go. Hello, Trevor Preddy here, and I really haven't been to every Pride, but I probably went to about 4, and then I skipped a year because I had to work, and then I went to about 3, and then I had to skip another year. But in that time, I got to do a lot of really good people. We used to say really good people, really shitty bands, but now it's all good people, all good bands. Unfortunately, for me, I didn't really get to meet Tyler too many times except for out here twice, and usually he was busy working his ass off. And so I just got to say hey and greet, just passing by, but I never really got to really truly meet the dude and sit down and talk. And that hurts my heart because a lot of people say a lot of good things about him, and there's not too many people like that really where, you don't hear a bad thing, and that says a lot to me. I mean, really.
Maybe now I'm lost, I can live. Souls don't break, they bend. But I sometimes forget I have to do this for you. And the only way
Pride, baby, pride.
Yeah, I've been to Pride a couple other times, but it's been a few years since I moved out of town, out of the state. So.
And where was that?
Morehead City, Arizona. So that's where I'm from today. I flew in the other day. Super excited to be here today. So. Yeah, I don't know.
And what have you been doing today?
Lots of photography. That's kind of how I got started going to Bennett shows, So.
what if I completely forget? What if I never accept when you fade away?
Like that's the hard part of it, is like, you get like, even all that, I feel like that wasn't enough for how much, like I talk about it almost every day still. I'll like talk to my fiance about it. I'll talk to friends about it. Like just a blip, like what happened throughout the day that reminds me of something like that. And it's so crazy how that works.
And when the night gives way, it's like a brand new doomsday. What will be. Every river flows into the sea, but it's never enough. And when the night gives way, it's like a brand new doomsday.